Where I'm standing today may look like a deep, continuous forest, but I'm actually smack in the middle of a densely populated urban area at the border between Cleveland Heights and East Cleveland. I'm standing in the middle of Forest Hill Park. Today, we're going to check out some of the unique and exciting natural features of this beautiful urban gem that's in one of the most densely populated regions of Ohio. Before we get started though, go ahead and hit like and subscribe and share this channel with others so that you never miss your dose of nature in the city. Let's explore Forest Hill Park. Forest Hill Park, located partially in Cleveland Heights and partially in East Cleveland, was originally part of the estate of John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller bought the land in 1873 and developed it into a private rural estate with trees, lawns, gravel roads, bridle trails, lakes, and even a racetrack and 9-hole golf course. Between 1900 and 1936, Rockefeller donated part of the property to Cleveland Heights, 1/3 of the park, and East Cleveland, 2/3 of the park, under the condition that the land be only used and developed for recreational purposes. In 1942, Forest Hill Park opened to the public on what was once the heart of the original Rockefeller estate. The park itself has dramatic scenery, in part because of its location on the Portage Escarpment, a long and high ridge that lies between the Appalachian Plateau and the Lake Plain. Let's see how Forest Hill Park looks today. We're standing behind the Cleveland Heights Recreation Center, a large complex with an ice rink that's in the middle of what looks like a rather ordinary urban park. But watch what happens when we come this way. We're going to notice a dramatic change in scenery. Let's go. Seeming to appear out of nowhere is this stream with beautiful cascading waterfalls and cliffs. We're looking at just a small remnant of the east branch of Dugway Brook, one of the many creeks and streams that used to run through this area. Because Forest Hill Park has been around for over 100 years as a park, we've essentially locked in time and preserved this living relic of our past. In fact, I have a whole video about Dugway Brook, and I'll link that in the description below. We're very lucky to have this little piece of Dugway Brook running through Forest Hill Park, and we're easily in one of the most dramatic spots within this park. So why don't we take a few extra moments to enjoy this beautiful bluestone gulch along Dugway Brook in Forest Hill Park. just east of the waterfall site. And again, just behind the Cleveland Heights Recreation Center is a hiking trail along a tributary to Dugway Brook. Volunteers have been working hard to remove invasive species and plant native trees and shrubs, further beautifying this trail. For those that are patient enough to look and observe, you may encounter woodpeckers, deer, and other wildlife along this heavily wooded section of the trail that overlooks this beautiful ravine that you see and beautiful upland forest here on my right. Let's head down the trail a little bit more and enjoy a leisurely walk through the woods. Forest Hill Park has a large fishing pond on the East Cleveland side. The pond itself, which was built in 1939, was created when a dam was constructed across a small tributary stream to the east branch of Dugway Brook. In the center of the pond is a heavily forested island that was once constructed to serve as a refuge for birds and wildlife. Herons, ducks, fish, frogs, kingbirds, and other pond wildlife can be seen taking advantage of a place to hunt and find food and cover in an urban area. The spillway is something fascinating to see too. Here, water spills over a dam down into a deep wooded ravine. Would you look at that view? We're looking down the Portage Escarpment into the lake plain. We're standing at the approximate location of Rockefeller's estate, which was situated on this beautiful hillside. We're at a point where the Appalachian foothills meets their northwestern extent, and we have this dramatic drop down into the lake plain. And topography like this in the Cleveland area is hard to come by because as the city grew, a lot of the natural hills and valleys were leveled or altered. But in a place like Forest Hill Park that's stuck back in time, we can really admire and appreciate how some of the original topography has been preserved. Forest Hill Park is a vital asset for both people and wildlife. Unfortunately, though, the East Cleveland portion of the park has suffered decline and is in dire need of some TLC. Neglect and abuse by vandals, environmental injustice, urban blight, divestment from park maintenance, and political infighting has taken a toll on the park's natural and cultural resources. It doesn't help that there's been a constant state of a fiscal emergency for the city of East Cleveland. It will take bravery and commitment from local residents to hold their leaders accountable and to make the necessary investments to restore the natural and cultural beauty of Forest Hill Park so that it can thrive for generations to come. Well, that wraps up our exploration of Forest Hill Park. What do you love about this park? And what are some of your favorite spots? Do you have any fond memories of your time spent in Forest Hill Park? Let me know in those comments below, and I'd love to see some photos as well. Connect with each other as well, so that we can all work together to preserve this beautiful green space. From Forest Hill Park at the Cleveland Heights and East Cleveland border, my name is Alex, and I'm your CLE Urban Naturalist.